And so, meeting online, this is actually not the correct section numbers. The correct section, so I have to, so this is wrong. The correct section numbers, I guess, are 18 for 13 and 18 for 14. Those are the correct section numbers. I put in the wrong ones. So we meet from 8 to 1:20. So there are no actual required textbooks for this course. There are recommended textbooks. So Elementary Statistics by Triola, or the companion workbook by Retakes. Okay. My name, Stephen Castillo. My office, well, it will be done online during these times, 8 to 8:15 Monday through Thursday, 9:25 to 9:40 Monday through Thursday. And so if you have a really short questions, I'm available at those times. 11:05 to 1 Monday, Wednesday. So if you have a more involved question at that time, or 11:05 to 11:20 Tuesday, Thursday for medium question, or right after class today. So 1:20 to 2 p.m. right after this class. So first, and the grading scale. So my grading scale is the following: 85 to 100, A. 70 to 85, B. 55 to 70, C. 40 to 55, D. 0 to 40, F. There are 3 components of the grade: homework, 5%, exams, 60%, final exam, 35%. So let me go over the homework, which is really from Canvas. So let me go to Canvas. Okay, so let me go here to Canvas, and maybe I will, I'll have to show it to you. So, and it's a good thing to show you. So first thing to notice is that if I try to look at this, nothing happens. So I click on it and nothing's happening here because it tells you it's locked. Why is it locked? Because you see there are these 2 things here. Let me go back. That have a little button next to them. So if you see here, there are 2 little buttons here. And so I need to somehow fill in this button here and fill in this button here. So we do that as follows. Go to your course syllabus and you say that I've done it. Okay. And that you've watched this video. Okay, so now it can go back. So once I've checked those, all of a sudden, now this is available. So this is my homework. And so what you would do is notice that here, there is a video and you would watch the video. So I'm going to watch it for about 15 seconds. You watch it for 30 minutes.
Welcome
and you
to
notice
section
that,
1 of statistics using the statistics companion
video,
workbook.
they're talking about things.
This workbook
And so
is a
you watch this
must-have
video
for this class.
No, skip ahead. And you watch this
hyphen, not
video
including
as
the ellipses.
Adam is
So enter that
talking
answer into the
and
knowledge check
discussing
for
some
full credit.
things. After you have
Bad data yields bad statistics. That's
stop
just the
this.
truth.
After you have listened to this video, you would then take your quiz. Okay. And so that would be it. So notice that there's really no requirement that you get any sort of additional material, but you could, and it is nice to get the statistics workbook, but the statistics workbook is basically what you're seeing here. So it's basically these, this PowerPoint. So this PowerPoint here is the statistics companion workbook. So if you like to have this sort of blank PowerPoint presentation without all these sort of underlines and all that you see here, then you would purchase the Statistics Companion Workbook. If, no, I'm not going to pay money, I can just look at it here, then you can just look at it here, and you're good to go. And you would, I believe there's only one question on this. So this quiz is not extremely long. I believe it's only like one question. And I moved up the date since someone was saying, well, only gave you one day to do it. So I moved it up so you have like 3 days to look at this. So for and so as you go through, even these that say like, oh, quiz, that's just a homework. So sometimes I call them quizzes, sometimes I just call them homework. They're all part of the homework grade. So any of these things that you see graded on your, like this, here, let's actually say I've done this. Here are some my lecture notes. So I've read these lecture notes. So any of these, this is homework. So even though it's all called quizzes because that's what Canvas calls them, but they're really just part of your homework, okay? And you would take them and they would give you, an introduction. These would give you points for your homework, okay? Once you complete them. The very first chapter really is quite trivial. So you should be able to do this fairly quickly. Okay, so that's the homework. Let me leave. So 5% of your grade. Is this homework. Next, 60% of your grade are exams, and 35% of the grade is on the final exam. So if you look here, we will have 3 exams along with a comprehensive final exam. So the first exam is on chapters 1, 2, and 3. Second on chapters 4, 5, 6, I believe. And and 7, 8, 9 is for the third exam. And then the final exam is on everything, chapters 1 through the very end of the course. Each exam will consist of 25 questions. The exams will take place during lecture period. You must show all work on a piece of paper You must scan the piece of paper. I will grade your exam on what work you have shown. And if you use proper statistical notation. And so it is necessary to use statistical notation for this course. Okay. Oh, well, that's garbage. I don't know why that's there. That's wrong. Okay, so okay, so I have to get rid of this because that's obviously for students in person. Okay, so you can use any calculator on exam, even graphic calculators. So you can use your TI-84, TI-83. The first exam, I would actually recommend a cheaper calculator, like a TI-30 or TI-30X, something that you can get for like $10. Only because for the first exam, there's no real calculations where you need something any more sophisticated than a TI-30. And you can find a TI-30 like I found mine in a grocery store. And so, and I got it for like $9 or something at a grocery store. So it's a relatively inexpensive calculator. I like those for easier sort of calculations. For later exams, the second, third exam, and the final exam, it is really necessary that you use a TI-83 or above or equivalent, because, well, you can still do exams on a TI-30, but it's much easier to use an 83 or above. It has certain functions on it that will make your life much easier. Okay. So if there is any calculation that is necessary, you must write it on a piece of paper, and you must actually, let me see if well, doesn't matter. And you must scan it. And the very last question on the exam will tell you to upload your scanned work. And so whatever you've done, you're going to have to write on a piece of paper. And then at the end of the exam, you will attach it to the very last part, the very last question, in order for me to be able to grade your exam. Okay. I have to put in the proper, actually, let me see for 1 second. Let's say, not that it really matters. Okay, no. Okay, so you would, here, I'm getting it from another class, but so I will be, so during the exam, so someone asked me, during class, do you need to turn on your webcam and your microphone? The answer is no. But during exams, the answer is yes. So during the exams, you'll need to have your webcam, your microphone on. You'll need to be logged into Zoom while taking your exam. I will also be using Proctorio, but if you are unable to use Proctorio, that's fine. You will still be doing the exam through Zoom. So the exam is done through Zoom. I watch you, so I'm proctoring you throughout your exam. Proctorio will also be available to help me, but I am the proctor. So if you use Proctorio, then you would need to use Google Chrome. Oops, you would need to use Google Chrome, and your Proctorio extension would need to be installed. So the very last question will ask you to submit your handwritten work. Oops, sorry. Will you stop? Okay, we'll ask you to submit your handwritten work. Okay. If you have an iPhone, you should use the Notes application. And this is an actual link that will show you when I'll quote unquote, just copy and paste this to where it should be in the syllabus later today. So then it'll be correct for where you see it. If you have the Notes application, if you have an iPhone, you have the Notes application, and you can scan your work using the Notes application, or if you have a scanner, you can use your scanner. Or if you don't have an iPhone, you can always use Cam Scanner or any other sort of software. When you submit your assignment, you would do last name, first name, then exam 1 or whatever. Sample exams or practice exams are available, and they are identical to the actual exam. So let me go back and let me go to, so let's go to, of course, I'm going to do this as so if you look here, there is practice exam 1. And so on practice exam 1, this exam, of course, well, you'll see it's written slightly differently, but this is an instructor view. The practice exam is identical. So notice this is in chapters 1, 2, and 3. And so the first, basically what we'll be covering by this time, September 24th. We'll probably be done with chapter 3 next week, but it will be on September 24th. So near the end of this month. So this practice exam is identical to the actual exam, meaning that the questions are actually the exact same questions as what is given to a student. The reason we can do this is because a lot of these we've spent time making these into questions where the computer or Canvas will arbitrarily pick some numbers to give you to put into the question. So if I look here, let's do preview. Okay. These questions are the same virtually as your questions they'll have, but things like it says 98 questions, 81, those are actually going to be different than what your particular question says. And maybe it says California. Ooh, oh, I can write here. Oh, cool. Okay. So it says here 98. Now I can't write. Why? Okay. I was able to write for a second. Aha. So now, so here it says 98 questions, 81 questions, the California method. Those might be different. Okay. So this would require a whole bunch of calculations. And so you would need to this very last question here. Don't do that. This very last question here says that, well, upload a file. So you would need to scan in your work and show me what you did for this first problem. Now, of course, the second problem just says pick an answer. There you wouldn't need to show any work. So if it's just saying like this, there's no, so for this questions 2 and 3, oops, those, those would not necessarily need any work, but obviously things like this would need some work. So these would need some work here. This is just saying what's wrong. So you need to write something. Here, if you're needing to write what's wrong with your conclusion, you don't need to write everything here in this text box. You could just write something. Let's say the last 5 words of what you've written on the file that you're going to be sending to me, because that is what I'm grading. Okay, so you don't need to figure out how to do fancy things to write your answer here. Okay. Okay, so you do the calculations. So that's really about it for the practice exam. So what you will notice is that this practice exam, these questions are from the same database as the questions in the actual exam. Okay. This is true for both. So notice should have 26 questions because this is identical to your actual exam. Okay, so you can take those exams. You should take your practice exams because they will help you on your actual exams.
Professor,
Okay.
you have not posted the exams yet.
I just showed them to you. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's not posted on our page. What we have
Yes,
on our page is home, grades, LAVC online, net tutor, Zoom, and LAVC library.
What do you mean? They're here. I was just
yeah, on your page, but on our page, I don't think
right
we
here.
have under.
Right here.
1 minute. 1 minute.
See? Okay.
What's the title of the page?
The only thing.
Home.
Only thing I need to do. Only thing I need to do here is let me say that I've done these. You have to have done some things. There's some. So let me. So I've done those. Okay. Let me do the other prerequisite. Here it says this has got to be done first. So let me do that. Mark is done. I have to wait for this. Oh, why is oh, here it is. Okay, so let me wait. Second, it's still loading. Still loading. Here's the, I can mark it as done. It's still loading the page. Mark as done. Done. Okay, I think that's all the prerequisites. Let's see. So I'm doing this as a student. Let me go back. And here it is. I'm a student, and there is a practice exam. Oh, yeah, whatever. I have to see. There's a code here. I'll have to see what, I'll have to take that away. So I'll have to take that. Oh, okay. So I've got to take that away. There's an access code. What access code? Okay. So there's, I've got to get rid of that little blip, but you can do it. They're there. They're there. Do you see them now? Right here. See this where it says exam 1 practice exam. Okay. And then you could take obviously the exam, but that's, you know, it's locked. Obviously I've locked that. So you don't, you know, so you can't take it. September 25th. Hopefully that's a correct day. Okay. Oops. So the answer is yes. They're there. Okay. Okay. So since I'm able to generate a whole bunch of differing questions, I can allow for retakes. So if you don't do well on an exam, you can retake an exam as many times as you want. Okay. The retakes on the exams will be a rated average of your original score and the retakes. It is based on your homework average as determined at the end of the semester. And so that HW be your homework average. And if you happen to get more than 100%, which is unlikely, then I let HW equal 1. Let TM be the average of all of your retakes and the original score, excluding the lowest score. Let the MIN be the lowest of these scores. Then you have the following weighted average. It is HW, the homework average, times TM, the average of your retakes and originals, excluding the lowest score, plus the complement of the homework average, times the lowest exam score. So let's see how an example where you've done differing amounts of homework. And so if you get a 40 on an exam and you decide to retake it, and you get a 94 on your retake, you decide to retake the exam yet again, and you get a 90 on the retake. Then, and suppose your homework average is 20%. Then HW is 0.2. The minimum was 40. There are 3 exams here, three times you took this exam. And so the minimum was a 40. The homework, the average of these exam scores without the lowest score was a 92. And so we have 0.2 times 92 plus 1 minus 0.2 times 40. So that gives you 50.4%. Better than 40%, but not as good as you hope. If I have the exact same situation, you got a 40% on an exam, you retook it, you got a 94, retook it again, got a 90. And suppose instead of having 20% on your homework, get a 98%. How does that change the exam score that would be recorded in the grade book? Well, HW in this case is 98%. The minimum is still 40. The average is still 92. And so 98% of 92 plus 2% of 40 gives you a 90.96. So if you only had 20% on your homework, your recorded score for that exam was 50%. Whereas if you had a 98% on the homework, your exam score is now going to be recorded as a 91%, much, much better than a 50%. And so it's very important that if you retake exams, that you then concentrate and sure that you go over and do well on your homework.